she, I've not heard a thing from her. But it's time, we've got a quorum, so I'm gonna forge ahead. Here's our agenda. I'd like to call the, May 8th, Maumelle Civil Service Commission meeting to order. I don't think we're gonna have any public comment. Under old business, first thing we need to do is approval of the minutes from the March 13th and 16th meeting.
I'll make that motion.
We do them together, or we have to do them separate? I think we've done them both ways.
I think we've done it both ways too.
Yeah.
I guess I'd prefer separate.
All right, let's start with the March 13th one then.
I'll make that motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Any opposed, no. Motion carries. Get my microphone in here. All right, now I need a motion for the March 16 meeting.
I'll make that motion.
I have a motion. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes, motion carries. Chief Pickard, I understand, has, wants us to discuss something about a new hire who is already a certified officer.
You wish.
Actually, I'm coming before the commission to ask for a waiver of testing requirements for any applicants that we receive that are certified officers. We currently don't have anybody in the hopper. We have no current list. We've exhausted said list. We have 3 in the academy. However, I have a potential to lose about 6 officers coming up in a short time. Currently, I have 4 unfilled vacancies, 1 officer on military deployment, 3 officers in the basic training academy. I've got a captain retiring July 1, a sergeant who just is retiring retiring due to health reasons. He is currently running out his time. I have 3 officers who have applied for other agencies, and 1 officer who has just put in her notice on Friday and leaving for another law enforcement agency out of state. So that could put us, come July, it could put us down to 24 filled positions, or 26 positions filled out of 40, which is a dire strait. And currently other agencies, North Little Rock has currently waived their testing requirement for certified officers. And that's what I'm requesting today.
Would you, this is a loaded question, would you deem this an emergency?
I would deem this an emergency, yes, sir.
We can do a lot of things on an emergency basis. We have made exceptions. I know several years ago when Chief Williams was chief, or Commissioner Williams was chief, then he brought in a very qualified officer, and we waived some testing for him. And it just made sense to do it. I mean, he was bringing some, well, anytime you can, yeah, if you can get a certified, somebody already there, I mean, yeah.
Yes, sir.
I'll entertain a motion to.
I got one question.
Yes, sir,
if I
sir.
can ask.
Yes, sir.
Chief, the only question I got now, when you're wanting to hire certified officers,
Yes, sir.
are you gonna hire them from another agency, or are you gonna hire anybody without testing that has left an agency and say been out 8 or 9 months? Is that a
I'm not
possibility?
currently trying to steal from any other agencies because we're all in the same
Yeah.
boat, but looking at options. Currently, I've been in contact with 1 officer who had left a local agency, went to another state for a while due to his wife's employment, and is coming back. I've also had a couple of interest connections through Facebook Messenger from out-of-state officers looking to come to Arkansas due to spouses moving this way. So that's my intent, is to go that route, to bring in those who are currently homeless.
And of course, your background check would still.
Yes, sir.
be
Everything else would
everybody
still
that's
play into
jumping
effect.
on you.
Yes, sir. All I'm asking is the written exam to waiver, since
Right.
they have more than likely taken this written exam, since it's in the Civil Service Commission rules somewhere.
Oh, you-
Right. I don't think what you're asking for is unprecedented at all. I think we've done it before.
Yes, sir.
Uh,
It's not something I come to you lightly to present or propose.
We've done it in specific circumstances. Sounds more like a blanket request.
Yes, sir.
But you're terming this an emergency, so that gives us a whole lot of leeway, and I would agree with 24 out of 40 is an emergency.
Yes, sir.
I would entertain a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Well, you have to say what it is.
Oh, I'm sorry, to approve for
I
Chief
don't read your
Pickard.
mind.
I make a motion for Chief Pickard to be allowed to, waive testing on certified officers.
Do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
Yes, any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
Chief Buford, something about the state legislature and something they're doing that might affect the Maumelle Fire Department.
I didn't know if anybody had copies, so.
No.
You don't ever have slides or handouts. You never have handouts.
I think I was smart enough to catch on to what
When you get old, you gotta, you know, like I am, you have to have,
Just wait.
reminders.
Just wait.
I just wanted to discuss, this was passed by the legislature. I wasn't sure exactly about the process, so I emailed city attorney and asked, what the process actually is, and from my understanding, these will go into effect once the session has been closed for 90 days and the Attorney General has reviewed them. Am I saying that correctly?
I think it's 60 days.
60 days.
The Attorney General
Yes.
will issue an opinion saying, here is the effective date of all non-emergency legislation passed during the session, and it'll probably be mid-July or late July.
Okay, and so this doesn't affect us right now, but this is what's coming pretty soon, and there is some significant pieces to this. The first part is any person who has 2 years of previous experience as a paid firefighter with another department, they can subtract their years to 35, where previously it was 32. So it gives some leeway there. Then on the next page, the ones I want to highlight, about midway down the page, it changes the eligibility list for appointment. So instead of the top 3,
Chief Buford, can you tell us what line you're looking at? There's a
Oh,
a
I'm
number
sorry.
on, in the margin.
section 3 on page 2. Sorry about that.
The number line
It is beginning on 18, and then it continues on through 23. Certifications to the department head of the eligibility list for appointment for that rank of service, and for the department head to select for appointment one of the 5 standing highest certified to him or her for promotion. One of the 3 standing highest to him or her notify the promotion part doesn't change, but what it does do is entry level, it gives us the ability to go down to the 5th person if need be. And why that's important is just on this last list that we went through, we selected the 3rd person, and then when we were going to hire again, we selected the 3rd person. And so it just gives us more options to be able to hire the best qualified candidate. And so it's a big change instead of the 3 to the 5. So I just wanted to make sure that that was brought out.
So you're saying the rule of 5?
The rule of 5, yes. And Little Rock and North Little Rock used to have this rule under the consent decree. And so this is not related to that, of course, but it does give you some leeway to hire somebody. Example of it would be, like in our case, you have a certified firefighter that has firefighter 1, firefighter 2, just like the police department. They have their EMT certification. You need to fill a gap immediately, but they're sitting number 5. And I hope we don't get in an emergency situation, but it does allow for that if that were to come into play. So I'm very excited about that.
This is entry level.
Yes,
That you
entry level
referred
only. It
to.
doesn't change anything with promotion. That all stays the same. And then the last part I wanted to highlight on line 28. Period of probation not to exceed 18 months for potential fire department appointees, and at least 1 year but no longer than 2 years for potential law enforcement appointees. It really doesn't change the police department part, but it changes the fire department part from a 1-year potential probationary period to an 18-month probationary period. And I'm in favor of that as well, because sometimes, when you send them to school, you don't even see them for 4 months. So they have to go do their initial, basic firefighting, firefighter one, firefighter two, their EMT, their pumping operations. So you may not even have the ability to even evaluate them for a whole year. So this gives a little bit more time to evaluate whether or not they're gonna be a good candidate to, for permanent, appointment.
We will have to go back and make sure that our commission rules.
I think
jive
we
with
changed
this.
that for police and fire.
I remember we changed it, I don't
Yeah,
know
I'm
what
not
we
sure we
changed
did.
it to.
We
exactly.
changed it 2 years for entry.
Just recently, we did request,
Yeah.
the police department requested an extension to 2 years for non-certified hires. So because of the same problem, when we hire on the entry level, they go to the academy for 3 months, we don't see them, and then they're in, FTO for an additional 3 months. So 6 months of your 1-year probation is used up. Same
Exactly.
scenario he's going with, so. But we have just recently done that with the police department.
But
Ours,
it was
They
just,
didn't tag
just
along.
for the police department.
yes,
if I
Just
recall.
yes, we're currently at
Oh,
a
I
year.
thought we did both.
I don't think so.
No, it's a year for fire, yes, but it would allow for that. When you don't have them for 4 months, you don't have that full ability to evaluate them, so that's a good thing. There are some other minor things, but those were the big ones that, I wanted to just highlight, just so that the commission was aware of the changes that are coming, because once the Attorney General renders that opinion, then this will actually become, state law, so.
Is the session over?
They're supposed to
Yes,
reconvene. I thought they were gonna reconvene for,
they are, but they've
they've done their initial.
dismissed now and will reconvene however the law.
So does the clock start running from the time they dismissed, or after they
I-
dismiss the
I don't
second
know,
time?
I asked the city attorney that as well, I didn't,
I think it'll be from the first time. It depends how long that they dismiss themselves for.
Yeah, and then you, and this isn't a budget cycle, is it? Cause that, you can come back on a budget cycle.
We expect it to be mid to late July.
I do have one question. This is
Yes,
must be, established, so we don't have any leeway. And so your, fire union's not gonna have a say in extending probation and not gonna take a stance either way.
no, sir, and I did talk to them briefly about that, and, they're supportive of an 18-month probation.
Okay.
If it's state law, it's
Yeah.
gonna be our law.
You hate to be flipping, it doesn't matter.
Right.
Well, previously, when the commissioner was talking about having done it for the police and fire, legally, the fire couldn't do it until just.
Okay.
Is that the deal?
Have longer
Okay.
than a
Yes,
year. Police
yes,
have the option
yes.
of 2 years.
Okay.
Yes. That was something that, the International Association of Fire Chiefs has been pushing for a long time, and so it finally went up to, the legislative session, so that, just because of the fact that you don't have them for as long to evaluate them. But I think all 3 of these changes are positive changes, and will benefit the fire department and the city, both. But that was all I really wanted to do, I just wanted to bring that out, and, so that you're aware of it, so this didn't come as this, when we start talking about this, there's no surprises, really.
Okay.
Thank you.
If I'm
Yes,
able
sir.
to quick. Since he brought it,
Thank you.
You have
on page 3, line 18, will come into play with the police department. Again, due to our emergency, we have a captain retiring. He'll retire after the eligibles list expires. So the plan is, currently I will not have enough people to promote up to fill the other ranks. So there is a potential that I'll have to leave a captain slot open for an extended period of time. But I wanted the commission to understand that, so it doesn't look like I'm trying to play a shell game.
So what happens then?
So with the new law, I had 60 days to fill that position. Now they're given the option that if there's no current eligibles list, that it can be left open. For longer than the 60 days. I don't plan on leaving it open long, but I don't have anybody to promote up. I will have lieutenants. Currently I have 2. The eligibles list, I think I only have 2 lieutenants that are eligible to move up. But there's others that will become eligible later, and
But
then
you're in no danger of losing the position.
I'm not in danger of losing the position, no, sir. No, I'll fight that tooth and nail, but.
Oh, yeah. We're gonna go backwards.
All right, legal and HR would like a discussion on a temporary appointment. I'll turn that over to you. Or either one of you.
Yeah, thank you. Chief Pickard asked for a temporary promotion for a police officer two to a sergeant, since time was of the essence. We asked the commission for an electronic vote, and so we would like to get those results on the record. And so we would like for someone to please make a motion to accept the temporary promotion, and then secondly, to make the temporary promotion effective for 19/23 or April 19th, 2023.
I didn't remember, I'll make the motion, but you guys, I'll make the motion that Chief Pickard be allowed to, make a temporary promotion starting in April of 2023.
For
Does that cover everything
police
you need to cover?
sergeant,
Right,
Two
for
sergeants.
police
Sergeant.
yeah,
Yeah,
police
from
officer
police
two
officer
to
to sergeant.
sergeant.
Or any other.
I have a motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say yes. Yes, any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right. I brought it up with HR the other day. We try to set these promotion testing dates far enough in advance so we don't run into a situation of somebody had something planned and you wind up having to test them separately. That's just a pain. So we try to avoid that. So I did ask Madam HR Director to bring us some potential testing dates so we can go ahead and approve them. I will remind everyone that the commission does not set these dates, but we do approve them. They are set by HR working with the chiefs. So anything you want to add to that?
No, sir.
So I think you've got a copy of it in front of you. Written exams, January 25th for fire lieutenant, captain, and division chief, police sergeant and lieutenant, police captain, assessment center, TBA, that's okay. Police promotion potential assessment to be determined, fire assessment center to be determined. Civil Service Commission oral interviews, they have us for March 4th for police and March 7th for fire. So I would consider a motion that we approve these promotion testing dates.
I'll make that motion, that we accept these promotion dates for 2024.
Have a motion, do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a motion and a second, any discussion? All in favor, say yes. Yes, any opposed, no. Motion carries.
Thank you.
All right, we are to that wonderful time of the year where we have to elect officers. I'll tell y'all a funny story. If any of y'all that knew Bo Peterson,
Yeah.
when John Chapman left, John was a longtime chair here. And when he left, Bo and I were the senior members on the commission. And when we opened the floor to nominate after John left, Bo Peterson could not get my name out of his mouth quick enough, because it was the last thing he wanted to be sitting up here in this center seat. I talk to him occasionally. He lives in Oklahoma now, and I still give him grief about it. But I will open the floor for nominations for chairman.
I nominate Billy Herring.
Are there other nominations?
Call for the vote.
I'll put it in form of a motion. We have a motion to nominate Billy Harrington for chairman. All in favor, say yes. Yes. Any opposed, no. Motion carries. I will make a motion that we reappoint Harvey Durham as secretary.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? All in favor, say yes. Yes. Any opposed, no. Motion carries.
I thought we could do John and Sheila tonight since they're
That's what you normally do.
By the way, I did get a visit with Commissioner Wells. He lives 2 doors down from me. We're good friends. on Saturday, and he's in reasonably good spirits, but he ain't enjoying going through this a second time, I can promise you. But we got a lady in our neighborhood that, she's one of those people that God reached down and touched her shoulder and said, "You know how to bake," because this woman can bake like crazy. So I took him some cupcakes, that made him happy. If you wanna make John happy, take him food. All right, any additional comments?
Just for the record.
Yes, sir, go
we put
ahead.
it on there or not, but we kind of laughingly roll through this, but I sincerely, and I know the rest of this commission sincerely appreciates Mr. Durham and Mr. Harrington serving in those capacities, because it's just taking on extra. Clearly, we don't wanna do, or we wouldn't nominate you, Squeak, but honestly, you're doing a great job.
It's
We
different.
appreciate it.
I promise you, it's different sitting in the.
Well, and to watch you, kinda control that hearing the other day that was good to see. It was fun to watch. You did a great job.
Thank you.
It's not over yet, but I mean, you
No.
did a great job.
It's not over yet, we're not done yet.
That tried to come off the rails a couple times, as we all know. But you did a great
Yeah, it did, yeah, it did. Well, I'm not gonna say any more about that, since we're on the record here, but. All right, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion to adjourn, do I hear a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor, say yes.
Yes.
All opposed, no. Motion carries.